The air in Judge Andrew H. Stone's federal courtroom was thick with anticipation as Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, a 33-year-old freshman, stood ready. Judge Stone, a 67-year-old veteran known as the Gavel King, looked down from his bench, a smirk playing on his lips. "Congresswoman Crockett," he began, his voice dripping with condescension, "I've heard you have some concerns about judicial proceedings. How refreshing to have a politician lecture the courts." The courtroom fell silent. Crockett, her eyes blazing, was about to unleash a legal storm that would stun the nation. Judge Stone, a product of old money and Harvard law, had a reputation for dismissing what he deemed frivolous lawsuits. His courtroom, adorned with portraits of white male legal legends, was his undisputed kingdom. Crockett, on the other hand, was a civil rights attorney turned congresswoman, a former public defender who had built her career fighting for the dismissed and disenfranchised. She knew the law intimately and had no fear confronting injustice, even in a black robe. The case was a civil rights lawsuit alleging voter suppression in Texas, a matter Crockett had personally helped investigate. For her, it was a culmination of her life's work. For Stone, it seemed just another Tuesday. He began by consistently mispronouncing her name, allowing defense attorneys to interrupt her while cutting her off, and rolling his eyes at her legal citations. When Crockett tried to present video evidence of poll workers turning away eligible voters, Stone sustained the defense's objection without even looking, then laughed a full, condescending belly laugh. "Cell phone videos and political grandstanding might work in Congress," he chuckled, "but this is a court of real law." That was his mistake. Crockett, her professional courtesy replaced by controlled fury, stated, "Your Honor, I'd like to approach the bench." When Stone dismissively waved her off, she reached into her briefcase and pulled out a thick folder. "Your Honor," she announced, "it seems we need to discuss your pattern of behavior in civil rights cases over the past 5 years." Stone's smirk vanished. Crockett revealed she had meticulously researched his judicial record. "Shall we start with a Morrison case from 2023? She asked, producing a document. "A voting rights case where you dismissed clear evidence of voter suppression and joked about ambulance-chasing civil rights lawyers." Stone claimed procedural dismissal. Crockett countered with the court transcript. "You told the plaintiff's attorney, maybe stick to personal injury cases and leave constitutional law to people who understand it." Gasps filled the gallery. Crockett continued. "Then Henderson versus Texas Board of Elections, 2022. Another dismissal. But this time, you sanctioned the civil rights attorneys for bringing a frivolous lawsuit." She revealed the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals had overturned those sanctions, finding Stone's behavior inappropriate and potentially biased. "You never apologized, did you, Your Honor?" She laid out 12 similar cases. Williams versus Texas Department of Public Safety, Jackson versus Harris County Elections, Thompson versus Texas Legislature, all dismissed by Stone with dismissive or biased comments, all subsequently reversed on appeal, one even resulting in a formal reprimand from the Judicial Conduct Board. With each case, Judge Stone visibly deflated. The final blow was Davis versus Texas Attorney General, 2021. Crockett read from the transcript where Stone told plaintiff's attorneys, "These people need to stop complaining about every little rule and learn to follow the law like everyone else." Everyone knew exactly what these people meant, Crockett stated. That case, too, was reversed, and Stone's conduct was referred for investigation. "That investigation was inconclusive," Stone whispered. "Yes," Crockett agreed. "But I imagine that investigation might be reopened if new evidence of a pattern of bias were to emerge. New evidence like, say, 12 documented cases. New evidence like a federal judge laughing at constitutional violations." The courtroom was silent. "Your Honor," Crockett declared, "I move that this court recuse itself from this case due to demonstrated bias and prejudice against civil rights plaintiffs. I further move that this case be transferred. And, Your Honor, I respectfully suggest that you might want to consider whether continuing to preside over civil rights cases is in the best interest of justice." The courtroom erupted. Reporters rushed out. Judge Stone, stunned, managed only, "Court is in recess." Within minutes, #JasmineDestroysJudge was trending. Legal experts lauded Crockett's masterful legal advocacy. Conservative commentators called it a political hit job, but the evidence was undeniable. News outlets published timelines of Stone's controversial decisions. Major legal organizations called for an investigation. The next morning, Stone requested indefinite medical leave. His career was effectively over. The Judicial Conduct and Disability Committee reopened their investigation. The Justice Department began reviewing Stone's past civil rights cases. Crockett became a national figure, hailed as a hero for exposing systemic bias. The voting rights case, under a new judge, quickly moved forward, resulting in a multi-million-dollar settlement and election reforms. Judge Stone quietly retired 6 months later. The Crockett Protocol became a template for holding biased judges accountable. Her victory wasn't just about one judge. It was a demonstration that with thorough research, legal expertise, and courage, systemic injustice could be challenged and defeated. It sent a clear message: no one is above accountability.